47,000 feet. Engine dead. No oxygen, no pressure suit. He ejected straight into a thunderstorm. For the next 40 minutes, the sky tried to kill him in every way possible. But the falling hadn't even begun yet, because the storm was about to pull him back up. July 26, 1959. William Rankin. Marine Corps pilot, 39 years old, combat veteran. World War II, Korea, thousands of hours in the cockpit. This wasn't a rookie. This was a man who had already survived 2 wars. Routine flight, Massachusetts to South Carolina. Clear skies, smooth air, nothing unusual. First hour completely normal. Then over North Carolina, he sees it. A thunderstorm. Not a small one. A monster. A towering cumulonimbus, punching upward like a wall of white concrete. But Rankin isn't worried. He's at 47,000 feet. The storm is below him. He'll pass right over it. Safe. Or so he thought. Without any warning. Engine off. No sputter, no gradual fade, no alarm first. Just silence. 1 second, full military power. Next second, nothing. Only wind, rushing past a jet that was no longer flying. It was falling. Emergency checklist. Fuel controls, nothing. Ignition, nothing. Throttle, nothing. 47,000 feet, dead engine, and directly below that thunderstorm, waiting. He has seconds to decide. Stay in the jet, ride a dead machine into a storm, and then into the ground. Or eject, into air so thin, so cold, that the human body was never meant to exist in it. He pulls the handle. Explosive charges fire. Canopy blasts away. In less than 1 second, William Rankin is outside his aircraft. Minus 50 degrees Celsius. Colder than the coldest place on Earth. Wind hitting him at nearly 500 miles per hour. And his oxygen mask gone, ripped away in the blast. At 47,000 feet, the air is so thin that a human loses consciousness in seconds. But before the blackout came the pain. Picture a balloon being inflated from the inside. That's what happened to his body. His stomach expanded. Joints caught fire. Ears felt like they were being crushed and torn apart at the same time. Decompression sickness. The same thing that kills deep-sea divers who surface too fast. Rankin got it in milliseconds. His eyes swelled, his skin crawled, every cavity in his body screamed. Vision went dark. He blacked out. Falling. Unconscious. Into the storm. But pain was the easy part. The real torture was just getting started. When he opened his eyes, he wasn't in clear sky anymore. He was inside the thunderstorm. His parachute had opened automatically, right in the heart of the storm. And the storm welcomed him the only way it knew how. Hailstones. Not small ones, hard, fast, like machine gun fire against every part of his body. Rain so heavy it didn't fall, it attacked. Every drop hit like a needle. Breathing felt like inhaling water. And the lightning. Not distant, not above, not below. All around him. Bolts so close that closing his eyes made no difference. The light burned through his eyelids. Thunder so close, it wasn't sound anymore. It was pressure, physical force. He felt it inside his chest, inside his skull. But all of this wasn't the worst part. Inside a thunderstorm, there are vertical currents powerful enough to tear aircraft apart. Updrafts, downdrafts, moving at hundreds of kilometers per hour. These currents grabbed Rankin. He'd fall, then get yanked back up. Fall again, pulled back up again. Like a toy in the hands of something that wasn't finished with him. A normal parachute descent from 47,000 feet, 10 minutes, maybe 15. Rankin's descent, 40 minutes. 40. The storm had him locked. Zero control, no steering, no way to cut free, no way out. Nowhere to go but wherever the storm decided to throw him next. Pilots are trained for everything. Except this. No manual, no procedure, no chapter in any textbook. because no one had ever been here before. At some point during those 40 minutes, something changed. The air stopped being air. Rain so dense, so thick, so heavy. It wasn't rain anymore. It was a waterfall pouring through open sky. Water forcing into his nose. Into his mouth. He couldn't tell if he was falling or floating. He couldn't tell which direction was down. This was drowning. Miles above the ground. No surface to reach, no direction to swim, just water everywhere. In the sky. His parachute collapsing, filling with water, catching air, then snapping him sideways like a rag doll. Hands completely numb. Face burning from cold. Vomiting from the violent motion, which meant choking, which meant fighting for every single breath. And through all of this, he was watching his wristwatch. Second hand moving. One tick at a time. He needed that. He needed proof that time was still passing. Because inside that storm, nothing felt real anymore. But the storm wasn't done yet. It had one more thing to show him. He looked down at his hands. Blue light. Moving. Crawling across his gloves, his harness straps, his helmet. St. Elmo's fur. Electrical charge building on his equipment, on his body. He wasn't watching lightning anymore. He was wearing it. The air around him humming, tingling, alive with charge. One discharge, one bolt connecting through him, and he becomes part of the storm, permanently. Was this how it ended? Not the fall, not the cold, not the drowning, but electricity, finishing what everything else had started. Then something shifted. The violence eased, just slightly. The yanking stopped. The updrafts released him. And through the bottom of the cloud. Ground. Far below, but visible. Forest, farmland, faint lights from houses. He was out. But the ground was coming up fast. No time to steer, no control over direction. Directly below, tall pine trees, reaching up like fingers. Impact. Branches snapping, parachute snagging on limbs, body slamming through wood. Then ground. Hard. Silence. Rain dripping through leaves above. Distant thunder, the storm moving away. As if it had lost interest. He was alive. He lay there. Injured ankle, bruises covering his entire body, joints aching from decompression, ears ringing, soaked through. Night, dense forest, completely alone. Two options. Stay, risk hypothermia, in a wet flight suit with no shelter. Move with a body that had just been through 40 minutes of hell. He moved. Through thick forest, in complete darkness, one leg barely working, every step pain. He found a road. Followed it. Found a farmhouse. Knocked on the door. Late evening, thunderstorm just passed. A family opens their door. And standing there is a man in a torn, blood-soaked flight suit, drenched, beaten, looking like he fell out of the sky. Because he did. He looked at them and said 5 words. I've had a rough day. Hours later, Naval Hospital, Cherry Point, North Carolina. Doctors confirmed everything. Decompression sickness, gas bubbles in his blood and tissues. Frostbite damage from exposure at -50. Hail bruises across his entire body. Ear and sinus injuries from explosive pressure changes. They put him in a hyperbaric chamber, monitored him for internal bleeding, organ damage. And then came the part that no one expected. Full recovery. No permanent damage, no paralysis, no brain injury. After explosive decompression at 47,000 feet, near vacuum exposure, oxygen deprivation, extreme cold, 40 minutes being beaten by a thunderstorm, and a crash landing through trees. He went back to flying. So, why did William Rankin survive something that should have killed him 10 different ways? First, he ejected at the right moment. He didn't waste altitude trying to restart a dead engine. That decision, in seconds, saved his life. Second, the dark irony. The same storm that nearly killed him also saved him. Those updrafts, the ones that threw him around for 40 minutes, they slowed his descent. A faster, cleaner fall without the storm might have actually killed him. The turbulence gave his body more time to adjust to pressure changes. The thing trying to destroy him was also keeping him alive. Third, his body, Marine Corps conditioning, combat hardened, physically strong enough to endure what most human bodies simply couldn't. And fourth, for 40 minutes, he had no control over anything around him. He made one choice every single second. Not yet. William Rankin lived until 2009. He was 88 years old. He wrote a book about that day. He called it The Man Who Rode the Thunder. He never described himself as a hero. He said he was terrified, helpless, in pain every second. But he also said this: the storm was not evil, it wasn't personal, it didn't care about him at all. And somehow, that was the most terrifying part. 40 minutes. Every second, the storm tried to finish him. Every second, one answer. Not yet. If this story kept you here till the end, that like button is right there. Hit it right now. It takes 1 second, and it helps this channel reach more people who care about stories like this. And subscribe because the next video. A man stranded at sea. 72 days, alone, no food, no rescue coming. That story is already written.